Hello and welcome back to Rollercoaster Tycoon, where we have two coasters right now in our ride armada or repertoire or whatever you want to call it. Two rides, that is, and they are aptly named Raven Tree and Stonehenge. However, as I said in the last video, I would look up the actual sigil of House Bracken, because I didn't really knew what it was. Turns out that these colors are completely the wrong way, which I'm actually glad for, because we're going to make them more fitting with the rest of the castle theming as well. So, how is that going to happen, you might wonder? That's gonna happen like this, and then I should... Does that really look good? I'm not really that convinced of it. Perhaps this? Yeah, that looks a lot better, and then this shall be colored like this. Because the sigil was apparently a red horse on a yellow shield with a brown rim around it. So definitely not the black and white that we had earlier. So we got that fixed. This was still right though, the Raven Tree, but yeah, small details that you need to pay attention to. Now, with this done and sorted, we are at the very 1st of August. We have almost I can't really see, but we have almost 500 guests in the park, and I don't really know if it's rising or not, but there don't seem to be coming in that many folks. It's still rising slowly, but I think that, because, let's be honest here, 500 guests is going to be easy to achieve for us. If we have 500 guests at the end of year 1, that's, I'd say we're reasonably on target. Mind you, we started out with like 150, so what we gained was 350 guests, but if we manage to do that for the 2nd and 3rd year as well, then we should be bang smack on the 1200, which we actually need. That is what we need, right? That is what we need, right? So, yeah, that's that taken care of. Let us, by the way, whilst we're in this view of seeing the vandalism, let us inspect if there is indeed any vandalism. I don't expect there to be any vandalism, but you never know. Could be that some malign guest has taken it to head to start demolishing our precious furniture from the outside of the park, or for the exterior of the park. So, it doesn't seem to be the case though. What I do wonder is, how are the pricing so far? They seem to be pretty alright. Of course, the queue is still empty over here, but that's because this ride has just... well, it's just opened, so this doesn't count. Also, with that in mind, I have been given some advice in the comments, and, I didn't really want to get to that, last video. But the advice I've been given about this coaster I thought to be pretty clever. Apparently, and I wasn't aware of this, but apparently these coasters, when they break down, they get empty trains. Well, not really trains, cars. And it turns out that the empty car travels at a different speed than the full car does. So what apparently happens is that when it has a failure, apparently it launches empty cars, and because those travel slower, at certain points the loaded car will collide with the empty car, and that will actually result in the crash. I thought that the cars would be launched off the tracks the moment they had a safety cut out, but apparently it has to do with speed. I didn't know this, but I think it's highly valuable. The way to combat this is to actually up the minimum waiting time. Now, if we take a look at this currently, we can see that the ride takes 1 minute 23, and I don't think this one will be that much different. 1 minute 26. So we're gonna say and assume that it's 90 seconds for the ride's duration. With 9 cars, that means that to have them all on the track, we want 10 seconds in between. But with the knowledge that we have, we actually want maybe only like 4 cars on the track. So if we want to do that, we need to divide 90 by 4, and now my terrible math shows up. I think we're best off going to something like 22 seconds. This is gonna greatly reduce the profit that this ride will make. But there are 2 buts to this. One, this didn't make that much profit to begin with. So, at least I'm saying that. Yeah, look at that. See, 3,000 per hour, and that's at full shebang. 4,000 per hour. Basically what we're gonna have right now is that we're gonna see this drop to like 1,000, and this also drop to like 1,000. That's not gonna mean it's gonna run a loss, but it is gonna mean that yeah, we will get less money. But fear not, as we now have these 2 coasters in operation. And that's why I didn't do it in the previous video, because you know, we would not really have any source of income. Now that we do have it, I feel more comfortable doing this. It is gonna hurt our finances, but for some reason I'm not that particularly worried about our finances. Now, as for the next rides that we're gonna build, I seem to recall, yeah, we are on max loan. So we want to be a little bit less the big spender dude and a little bit more the build carefully dude. So what we have is this tower only to build, or well, we got a coaster. That's not a that's only a steel tracked coaster though. Nah, it's not bad, it's cheap, we could definitely use it. I think we would be better off using this. Maybe even get some stuff of this side in, so definitely nothing over here. But I do want the tower. Now, from a park expansion point of view, this would be the best, you know, around here would be the best place to put it. But I mean, honestly, we cannot put it over here. So we have to find another spot for this, and I mean, I'm thinking like this area over here holds potential. On the other hand, perhaps it does not because of hooking up issues. What we could do over here, and let me just, I mean, without the supports, no, I actually do like the supports so that I can see where the tracks are. Say we are gonna build it over here, and say for example that we were to lower this point through which we would achieve that we could build an exit or entrance above the tracks. Then have I mean I can conceive the path going above here. It would be ugly. It would be very ugly. What we could also do, that's the other thing, we could also lower this quite a bit to the level of the ride. Oh, but then no. No, that's not gonna happen. So there's 2 options. Or we keep this at this height, and then what we could actually do is hook it up over here, you know. This is a spot where we could hook something up to. That's actually our new stretch of tracks. Can you see how useful that's going to be? On the other hand, this is really close to that, and I kind of want to keep those rides apart. So let us enable the castle once more. And now all of a sudden, you know, because we're talking about towers, I'm getting drawn to this area of the park because I think that this holds a lot more potential. Now, if I were to look, see, there's even path over there. We could definitely make something happen. Say we build it at the far corner over here, you know, terraform a little. Have the path actually extend outwards from here and hook up the queue and exit path to that. Say like, what if we enable? Yeah, say like we have a path that stretches right alongside this terrain, right alongside the wall. We could fit in like 2 rides over here. That's definitely worth it. Maybe even a few shops and stalls, though admittedly we also have them over here, but it would lead to options. We could also then perhaps further expand the path into this terrain over here and get this area accessible. I think that to get this area accessible, it's better to use the path that we've laid over here. So, but it's really for this back end. I'm liking that, you know. I'm really liking that. So that's what we're gonna go with. We are going to build this. Are we gonna elevate it by 1? We don't have to, so we won't. In fact, I will lower the terrain quite a bit around it, just so that we have some workspace over here for an exit and entrance. There. Alright, custom design, of course. I want it to be over here. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. That was not intended. So, can I place these back, is the question. Yes and no, actually. I can and I can't. I kind of can, if we... wait. What we're gonna have to do right now is difficult to say the least. I know this is not the place where we should spend our money, you know, terraforming for the castle, but I really do want the castle to be intact. So what we should do then, because we have a but that's gonna lead to the same problem there. Right, okay, let me see if we can get this fixed then. I should actually make this like so. That's not too bad, because there's like this castle entrance. Well, then let me get these walls out, and then like this, and then like this. Well, I don't know if I'm really that happy with this. It's a shame we can't really build it there, but I guess we'll have to live with a slight castle breach. So that's what we're gonna have to do. Man, that's not good. I don't like that all that much. Honestly, what I'm considering is actually terraforming over here. All we would need is to just extend... Alright. It's gonna happen, you know. It's gonna happen. It's gonna go. No. Hold on. Stop that. Stop this. And then... yeah, that. Alright. Then we get our terraforming tools out there. Then we just complete the track. We'll open it up. And then we'll worry about the terraforming later, but for now what we can do is at least... oh, that's bad. There. It still doesn't look the greatest, if I'm honest. It certainly doesn't, but at least... I mean, if we just heighten this up by 1, and we heighten this everywhere... wait, we should actually lower this. That way we don't have the issue. So that would mean doing something like this. Yes, I believe right now, currently we are on the ball here. Well, we should... man, this... if anything, building castles is not easy. Also, I have a feeling that I'm wasting way too much time on this whole castle malarkey, but I want to get this right. I don't want to ruin the castle. So what we shall do then is this. And then, you know what, we'll actually do that. And then we'll have that like that. you know, it would be even better if we have a tower over there to kind of cover up what we did there. Nice! That actually works out. Right, so we can't get any higher over there. Now we need to quickly get a move on with what we want to build over here. So this is a no-go area. This will be... So what is the most clever use? The exit should be here, which should hook up to this area, and the entrance should be there. Excuse me. And back. Sudden sneeze attack. Really nasty. Anyway, yeah, so the exit is going to be over here. The entrance is going to be over here. And we will change these, by the way, to match the castle style. We're not gonna stick with the grey stuff over here. So, let's see. We do that over here, I believe. Yes. And we change it to brown, just like that. Good, good, good. Then, what else? Well, we do need to get that path out there. Let me see. From over here, how high is that? Oh, that's pretty high. I mean, we need to go down here. That much is for certain. And then something like this, I guess. Oh, well, that ain't gonna work. Hold on a second. If I were to... What we could do is drop it and then... drop it like it's hot. I have an idea for this. Alright. So we go like this, and then we terraform into this. That works out. And then what we can then further do is then extend the path from over there. And this is like into the rest of the park. Great, and I just also noticed that I completely removed the the walls. We will get those back in a minute. For now though, I do want to kind of finish hooking this up. So, there. Let me see. I guess we're not really gonna build anything else in here. So we might as well go up and just hook it up there. I guess there's no real harm in that, so... Right, okay, now, this is sorted. Sure, we have some walls to fix, but let us first get this right sorted, huh? I mean, that is, after all, where we're gonna get our guests from. So, we do want this. We want that to be $5 and open. Make us money. We will worry about names and all those shenanigans in a moment. For now, what I'm much more worried about are the actual walls. There, that's more like it. And then one there. Done. Right, okay, so we kind of salvaged the castle a little bit. And then another high one there. Look at that, freaking perfect. Just like that. The castle is in one piece again. Right, okay, so let's name and shame this, and then we'll set up some facilities and staffing over here. We have the settings sorted. We are going to call this the Airy. Definitely. This is for House Aaron, you know. It's a high up castle. Definitely befitting, because, well, you know, you can make people fly. And that's exactly what happens here. People fly, and what happens when they fly? They fall down. We could have also called this the Moon Gate, but it's not really gate-like. It's more like the Airy. Now, the Airy also has some colors associated with it, and not surprisingly, they are white and blue, and more of the same. So, actually, we shall have these be that. And then, I guess also a white car with a dark blue belts, safety thing devices, pixel in place keep things there, you know. So that's that sorted. I am happy with that. I'm really happy actually with how that turned out. Also, I think the exit that we got over here, pretty solid, that is. So, of course, we shall place this. And what I'm also really happy with is that we got some flat path real estate here. That's also something that is very valuable. Now, as far as the park goes, we only got 2 fixed mechanics. I think for now that's fine, but the moment we start getting even more rides, I think what we should expand once more. So, just so you know, why are we not... Huh? Oh, that's way down there actually. That's a totally different region. Fine, whatevs. Actually, I think, yeah, I could have seen it like this. You know, it's just that the castle, man. This doesn't make it any easier. Now, with this sorted, you know what I also kind of want to do? Because I feel like we got the money for it right now. Let us take a look at, at the queue times. I want to see the queue time. Oh, 10 minutes queue time. That's really long, actually. That is over there. Also, there's 0 people on the ride. Perhaps if we lower this, because I think what's happened is that it's one of the first rides we've built, so it's, its novelty value has worn off. But I also think it wouldn't be such a bad idea to actually hire an entertainer. Oh. We've actually called you good. You will, just wander around the castle. We'll hire another entertainer, and we're gonna call him the mountain that walks. Yeah, that's a pretty solid one. That's definitely a knight, and a big one, though he's not as chivalrous as most of the knights. Now, that he should keep the people happy over here when they go onto Vice Dothrak. So, yeah, right, looking good, looking good. What else can we build over here? Well, I know one thing, actually, that we should do, because we don't have it over here. That is play music, and then play the medieval style. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that music, but we've chosen it, so there's no way back. Now, another thing that I would really like in this castle, which I also think would be very, very fitting, is a maze. The problem that we have with this castle is that if there's anything that will not really fit well over here, well, then it's a maze. So, what are we gonna do about that? We're not gonna place it over here, we're gonna place something else over here. Maybe we should do that for... well, never mind that. It's the maze or nothing. What are we gonna get? We just got a water slide. I mean, there is nice places for a maze, like over here, for example, is a good spot. Same over here. Maybe this is actually the better spot, coming to think of it. It has path entries over here. Let me just see. Wait, it's hard to... it's because it's the black tarmac, but there is path entrance over here. And there is space. That's also a thing, You need to have the both of them. Wait. Alright, so that flat roof, which I now cannot find. I mean, oh, it's over here. Now it's over there. Yeah, see, so we kind of like have... what we could do is have the entrance be back here. And then go like that and have the exit hook up directly. Yeah, we're gonna wiggle in our tiny little maze over here. Oh. I did not expect that to happen, but it is what it is. We'll see if we can fix this. For now, I kind of want to... wait, no. We'll see if we can get around this. This maze, by the way, ain't gonna be like one of those really complicated, amazing mazes. No. Far from the contrary, in fact. However, what we can do is just do this, and then maybe use the maze itself as kind of like a wall for the castle. How? Well, you'll see in just a moment. Now, I do believe that over here... Yeah, this ain't removing anything. So, this is where we'll go. Look, like I said, this ain't gonna be one of those really complicated mazes. Far from it. We shall have this over here. And then go like this. I mean, one of the bonuses of it not being too complicated is that, well, one, it's cheap and money isn't really in great supply currently, so that's not bad. Also, I think this matches up really well with the walls, so that's also great. And we shall have the green entrance. That hooks it up. The rest is already hooked up, so I guess all we need to do is just set it up and we're good to go. Nice. $5, of course. That's our setting up. Now, as far as this ride's name goes, I was well prepared, huh? I said last video. Well, admittedly, I'm not really that well prepared that I have any more names for this, but I'm sure we can come up with something. So we're gonna go with wood fences for as far as that is like, well, you know, substitute for a maze. Yeah, I was afraid that it would say that, you know, maze in the way. Alright, fine. Hey, are these, you know, these are like mid to high sectioned walls. So I guess what we could do over here is go to the castle section and then just... Well, that looks really weird. I don't think that is really how it's supposed to look. Definitely also not like that. Definitely also not like that. So we'll go with the higher ones there and just well, forget that we ever really ruined this, alright? Because you're ruining it, we did. Right, okay, so now it's time that we open this one up. It is ready to go. It's just that, well, yeah, about this. We need to give this like some really not important name of a castle. Or perhaps even of a knight. You know how we could really call this? We could really call this High Garden. I know that's like the complete opposite of not important. But it is kind of fitting for a maze, I think. So we'll call it High Garden. And it should have been green, this maze. But... yeah, no, with a name like High Garden, we cannot not have this be hedges. This is High Garden. Yeah, definitely. And then maybe also place like some trees. You know, like these small ones. Just to furthermore, you know, get that High Garden feel. Now, of course, this also means, and I don't really know, have we done so? Man, what I'm trying to find out is whether or not we have cut off the path over here. It's really difficult to see. I do see some tarmac over here, but I don't think it's connecting. I honestly cannot tell. It's really... I just can't, man. I don't know. Well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna replace the tarmac over there. Because I can't see anything over here. I mean, the underground black tarmac, it's just horrible, man. Right, okay, so that at least fixes that. Then we shall remove this, and all of a sudden the guests can enter. Right, go into High Garden and see if you enjoy the Tyrell dynasty. Destiny, I was about to say. That's like getting imprisoned by the High Sparrows and whatnot, you know. Getting accused of adultery and incest and whatnot. Whether or not those claims are true is an entirely different thing, of course, but also, I see we have removed a castle wall over here. And we can't place that back, actually. It's just kind of a shame. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Alright, fine. Okay, so here we are with... oh wow, there's actually quite a few guests coming into the park. So our guest count is rising, I assume. What are we getting? We still don't know. What I do know is that we have like 3,000 in terms of money. You know what I'm really tempted to make? That's like this river ride over here. Really tempted to make that, but I do think that we lack the money for that. So what else are we gonna do then? Well, that's something you're gonna find out next time when we play more Rollercoaster Tycoon.